Holy Week has arrived, and we are so ready to gather on Friday at 7 for the Good Friday service and to take that time to stop and to reflect on what it is that Jesus has done for us. And really, we're going to be answering the question, why the cross? Why was the cross? What was so significant about the cross that this was the way that Jesus had to come, that he had to die? Why wasn't there another way? And we're going to walk through that a little bit. We're going to sit in that as we walk through some of the ways that Jesus suffered on our behalf on that Friday night. As we come into Easter Sunday, we're going to have two different services, one at 9:15 and one at 10:45. And we're not going to have any childcare on Friday. There's no nursery. There's nothing like that. At 9:15 on Sunday morning, there will be nursery, but no Grace Kids. And then at 10:45 on Sunday, there will be both nursery and Grace Kids, because we know that's the service that many families are going to be attending. And so as we think about this weekend, first and foremost, we want to be in prayer. We want to be reflective. We want to be celebrating and focusing on all of the ways that Jesus has graciously, mercifully gone before us and prepared the way. That's our first call as believers, to celebrate, to reflect, to worship the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Secondly, we know that this is a unique opportunity where many people have been invited, where many have seen the different Facebook promotions and whatever else is out there, and that this is a time of year when people tend to come to church. And so as they're coming to church, whether it be Friday or Sunday morning, we know on Friday we'll have a few more, is we're going to be worshiping alongside Delta Church. They're going to be joining us as we reflect on that question. But then as we come into Sunday morning, we know over the last few years that we have seen a significant increase in the number of people who are engaged and connecting. And so we want to be hospitable. We want to be prepared for them. And there's some small ways that we can do that together that leaves a big impact. First, as you come into the church parking lot, I want to encourage you to park in the overflow lot or to park as far from the door as possible. If you need handicap parking, that's totally fine. Please park there. But otherwise, try to park in the back corner, as we want people to see that there's room for them before they even come in the door. Secondly, as you come in, we want to practice a right habit of being in the service, prepared and ready to worship the Lord. And so right before the service starts, I want to encourage you to be intentional, to make sure that not only you're in the service, but that you're sitting closer to the front and in the center of your row, leaving space for people to come in late, to sit behind you, and to sit on the edges all the way up to the front. Again, we want people to know that there is room for them to come, to not be burdensome, to not be in the way, but room for them to come and to be part of what God is doing here in this place. So we want to be hospitable. We want to be purposeful. We want to make sure that we're engaging people who we don't know, that we're inviting people who may not have a place to worship on Sunday and would love to come and to sit and to worship, to take it all in, even if they don't believe. It's an opportunity for the gospel to go forward. And because it's an opportunity for the gospel to go forward, we want to look beyond this weekend. We want to look towards the weeks ahead as well. We don't want to lose sight of the focus we have. We don't want to quickly move past Easter. But what we do want is to engage the people who come, inviting them to ask any questions that they may have for God. And they can go online, or they can scan the QR code. They can fill out a slip at the welcome counter where they can submit whatever question they have as far as it relates to faith, as it relates to God, as it relates to Jesus. We want to provide an opportunity where the four of us as pastors are going to sit up front and we're going to discuss these questions with biblical reference all the way through, standing on God's Word, so that there can be clarity around some of the questions that are floating out there, some of which may be the very reason why people don't come to church. the reason why they haven't committed themselves to Christ. There may be hurdles and barriers out there that are built on assumptions or are simply unknown. And so we want to aim to answer any questions that they may have. And so we want to encourage you to help point them towards asking those questions. Or maybe they ask you the question and they don't want to personally submit it, but you can go ahead and do that as well. We are excited to see what the Lord's going to do. We're excited to worship, and we want to be so intentional to prepare our hearts and our minds for what Jesus did for us on the cross. And so I just want to invite you to be in prayer that as the church, we would have a prepared heart, that we would have a prepared mind, that we would be ready to receive all that the Lord has for us, that we would be ready to exalt and glorify him as King, not holding back, but giving him all that we have. And so as we come into this weekend, let's not overlook its significance and its importance. Let's come prepared to exalt, to worship, to reflect. Let's come prepared for the good news of the gospel to be clearly proclaimed as we look at what it means to see Jesus clearly. We're excited to worship the Lord with you this week. We'll see you on Friday.